Hey, Coach, you want to start with a statement or do you just want to take questions?
I'm going to just take questions. I don't have a lot to say after that debacle.
All right, we'll start with Jacob Toby.
Coach, just simply put, how disappointed are you right now?
Oh, I'm not sure I've ever been more disappointed in a loss in my career. I mean, to have a game in hand like that and not finish it, and it's not like we didn't talk about the way that they could get back in the game and the way that they could, and you at some point you got to stop talking about things and you got to do them. And I know the mantra you heard McKinley, you heard Jariah talk about the idea of finishing, and tonight was the epitome of not finishing. And Plummer got going, and we had no answer.
Matt Rooney.
Coach, you just mentioned Plummer. You talked to us yesterday and said this is a guy that can get hot at any time. Hadn't done much at that point, but what was happening that your guys lost track of him so much there down the stretch?
Yeah, we lost track of him in some scramble situations, and we're not aware of who's who. Now, Utah put a really good shooting lineup, in the game. Batten was in, who's a good shooter. Larson's in, who's a good shooter. They got shooters on the floor. Now, Timmy Allen is more of a driver. And, we just, we talked at the 8-minute media timeout. I think we were up 16 at the time. And I think we had 6 team fouls. And we talked about there's 2 ways they can get back in this game. Number one is if we foul them and put them at the foul line. And number 2 is we let them get hot from 3. And they did both, and I think the next time out, it was a 5-point game. And they had made 4 threes and shot 2 free throws. And that's 14 points. It goes from 19 to 14 or to 5, after 14-point deficit. And then we got, I thought, offensively, we got a little bit soft. We put no foul pressure on them tonight. They were switching our ball screens. We were switching their ball screens with certain lineups. And, their guards could guard, or their bigs could guard our guards. Our bigs could not guard their guards. Plummer came off with his left hand on a couple switches and got downhill, got to the rim. We got to know he's left-handed, and we got to know we got to take away his threes. We didn't do either one. We didn't get on his left hand, and we didn't take away his threes. And kid got hot, and credit goes to him. I mean, I say this tongue-in-cheek, but, if Larry would have played him in the first half, he'd have had 48.
Justin.
Pat, you look in the rearview mirror on the road with Washington kind of creeping back up on you guys. Recently, Washington State doing the same, making it what was a double-digit win, a little bit uncomfortable for you guys. And then this, I mean, is there kind of a common thread, a correlation just with these kind of failures to close in the second half?
Yeah, not finishing. Absolutely, there's failure. I mean, and it's finishing possessions on defense just as much as it is finishing possessions on offense. Finishing on offense means we got to put the ball in the hole. We missed some bunnies there. We didn't put foul pressure on them. We're a team that gets to the foul line a lot. Tonight we couldn't get to the foul line. I mean, the whistle wasn't there, so we got to finish. We got to put the ball in the hole, and you got offensive rebound. I mean, we didn't do a very good job. 6 offensive rebounds, and 2 of them are team rebounds. So really, or I guess we had 8. So 2 of them are team rebounds. That's 6 offensive rebounds, on a lot of missed shots. So offensive rebounding is something, again, I've talked about a lot with this team, that on nights when you're not shooting the ball well in the second half. I mean, we made 10 threes in the first half, made 13 for the game. That's enough to win a game. But when you don't guard and you let a guy like Plummer get hot, that kid broke Klay Thompson's record in the Pac-12 tournament last year, 11 threes in the game. So it's not like we didn't know. We knew. And it was kind of a last-ditch effort on their part to put him in, and we let him get going. So that's on us. I mean, look, Utah, I'm sure if you ask them, they feel like they gave the game to us in Salt Lake City, and we feel like we gave the game to them here in Boulder. And maybe we're both right, But I don't know. I'm really, really disappointed in not finishing. And I look, I love our guys. I love this team. We got good guys. They're competitors. But we got to figure out how to finish and score the ball and get to the free throw line or get offensive rebounds when we're not shooting it well offensively. But again, Washington, we score 80 points. Tonight we score 74. That's enough to win a game if you guard. And now if we score 54 points, yeah, I'll point to our offense. But, this is a tough one, guys.
Jake Shapiro.
Hey, Tad, the last 4 games, you kind of have not been that positive about, not up to the standard of you guys. How do you make sure that this little stretch of games doesn't turn into something bigger like it did at the end of the season last year?
The way you do that, number one, I don't think it has anything to do with last year, and I'm not even worried about that, okay? But the way you do that is you come back the next day, and we'll take tomorrow off, but you come back to next practice and you get after it and you get better and you learn and you improve. And then, you just figure out how do you win the next game. And that's Arizona State on Thursday night. And they're a talented team. They got some guys that can get hot like Plummer did tonight. And we're going to have to hang our hat on our defense and our toughness. And, this loss is not going to affect our confidence. I truly, truly believe that. But it's got to piss us off. It's got to piss our guys off enough where they say, you know what, this is never going to happen again. And we got to get an edge to us like, this is unacceptable. And if we can do that, we'll be fine. If we don't, then, yeah, we could, winning the next game's going to be tough because Arizona State's a good team.
Jacob Toby.
Knowing how you guys are finishing up the season on the road, it just hurt a little bit more that you can't get one here at home, knowing that those, there's only 2 more of those left.
Well, no, I think we got 5 home games left, Jacob.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
I meant going up against on the road trip coming up after this. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we get all our games in, we're going to play 10 at home and 10 on the road. And if everybody else gets their 20 games in, they're going to have 10 at home and 10 on the road. So, like, when they come, that's up to the schedule makers and obviously COVID, rescheduling, and all that sort of thing. So, and some teams may not get their 20 games in. Hopefully we will. But this one stings because it was a home game that we had in hand, and we just didn't finish. So this stings. There's no way to sugarcoat this thing. It stings and it sucks, and it's gotta piss us off enough to make sure we don't ever let it happen again.
Anything else for Coach Boyle? Pat Rooney.
Coach, I asked you recently about McKinley and Eli and their kind of perimeter defense, among the best backcourts that you've had. And I know more goes into perimeter defense than just 2 guys in the course of a game, but how do you reconcile some of the three-point efforts teams have hit on you recently, while having arguably, 2 of the best backcourt defenders in the league?
I think, number one, we can't let foul trouble affect how we guard. And both McKinley and Eli were in foul trouble tonight. We haven't fouled that way. I don't think Eli's fouled out of a game since he's been at Colorado, and tonight was the first time. So, and, look, the first half there was some, McKinley picked up a ticky-tack foul, and, there's a couple of them that were legit. But, when you get in foul trouble, you can't let it affect your aggressiveness. You just got to play smart. And, again, sometimes the whistle goes your favor and sometimes it doesn't. That's part of college basketball. But, we're a team that is used to shooting a lot of free throws. Tonight we shot 6. Why? I don't know. I'll watch the film. I'll see. But maybe we're not putting enough foul pressure on them, and maybe it's Utah's just great defenders. I don't know. But, shooting 6 free throws is, when you play – I don't know, what is this, our 20th game or what? I don't know how many games we've played now, and I don't even know what our record is. But, you play close to 20 games, and you're used to, getting to the free throw line, a certain number of times, and then it doesn't happen. you got to figure out other ways. Offensive rebounding is one of them, and finishing, when you're in the lane in the paint is another one, and making threes. We made enough threes to win this game. We made 13. We'll take that every night. But got to get better.
All right, last question, Coach, from Jack Carlo.
Hey, Coach, what do you learn about Keyshawn Bartholomew today? He played a few more minutes with Wright in foul trouble early.
Yeah.
Like he had a career high in assists.
Yeah, Keyshawn is I think, I told him at halftime, keep playing aggressive on offense because he's a good offensive player. He's good in the pick and roll. He can score. He can pull up. He's a good shooter. And you got to compete on defense. And I thought Keyshawn did that tonight. Now, he gave up a couple on Plummer. I think, we got to look at Deshaun and Maddox and their perimeter defense. I thought in the first half those guys really struggled defensively. But, Keyshawn, if he will compete on defense and stay aggressive on offense, he can help this team. So, yeah, I thought if there was a bright spot, in tonight's game, it's hard to look at any bright spots, after a game like that. But Keyshawn's probably one of them. But, again, his defensive intensity level has got to be rock solid, and I thought he made a step forward in that tonight.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah.